Viewers who tuned in to watch the broadcast of the Queen's funeral had an unexpected surprise when a mysterious voice unexpectedly accompanied the coverage. The unsettling narration caught many off guard, adding a mysterious and unsettling element to the solemn event. During the live broadcast of the procession escorting the deceased monarch's coffin out of London, a new transmission came onto the broadcast, resulting in a faint whispered voice that interrupted the coverage. The unexpected disruption added a mysterious element to the unfolding event, capturing the attention of viewers. In a brief pause, the male commentator, who had been closely monitoring the events on the live broadcast, suddenly lost his audio connection, and his voice was temporarily substituted by the mysterious female commentator. While it's hard to make out, she appeared to say, "The death is irreversible. The fact that she's trapped."
The death is irreversible, and the fact that she's trapped.
As you can see,
the death is irreversible, and the fact that she's trapped.
as you can see,
the death is irreversible, and the fact that she's trapped.
as you can see.
Some online users suggested that there was a frequency problem, and monarch insiders were trying to do something that the public wasn't meant to hear. Others carried on and questioned why someone was talking about the Queen being trapped, which caused a variety of strange theories to be put forward in order to explain what the female voice was talking about. Those who heard the mysterious woman's voice even said that the male presenter purposefully talked over her in order to block out what she was saying. The passing of a monarch is a significant event that often carries deep implications for a nation's political stability, cultural identity, and societal cohesion. Throughout history, the passings of kings and queens have been shrouded in secrecy and ritual, with monarch insiders playing a crucial role in managing the transition of power and informing the public in a manner that maintains stability and continuity. One of the primary reasons for keeping a monarch's passing a secret before informing the public is to ensure a smooth transition of power and prevent any potential power vacuum or destabilizing effects on the nation. In monarchical systems, the passing of a monarch often triggers a carefully orchestrated succession process, with designated heirs or successors poised to assume the throne. Monarch insiders, such as royal advisors, courtiers, and high-ranking officials, are entrusted with the task of managing this transition discreetly, allowing the new monarch to assume their duties without undue disruption or uncertainty. Maintaining secrecy surrounding a monarch's passing also serves to preserve the dignity and honor of the royal family, shielding them from unwanted public scrutiny or sensationalism during a period of mourning. By controlling the flow of information and adhering to established protocols and traditions, monarch insiders can ensure that the transition of power proceeds with the solemnity and decorum befitting the occasion, minimizing the risk of controversy or discord within the royal household and among the public. Additionally, keeping a monarch's passing a secret for a brief period allows for the necessary logistical arrangements to be made for the official announcement and funeral proceedings. This may include notifying key stakeholders, coordinating funeral arrangements, and preparing the necessary ceremonial rituals and protocols. Monarch insiders play a pivotal role in overseeing these preparations behind the scenes, working closely with relevant authorities and stakeholders to ensure that everything is in place for a dignified and seamless transition of power. Furthermore, maintaining confidentiality surrounding a monarch's passing can help mitigate any potential political or diplomatic repercussions that may arise from the news. In some cases, the passing of a monarch may have significant implications for the nation's internal politics or its relations with other countries. By exercising discretion and caution in the dissemination of information, monarch insiders can manage these sensitivities and navigate any potential challenges or sensitivities that may arise in the aftermath of the monarch's passing. The process of keeping this a secret typically involves a tightly controlled circle of individuals who are privy to the information. This inner circle may include close family members, trusted advisors, senior government officials, and key figures within the royal household. These individuals are bound by strict codes of confidentiality and loyalty, ensuring that sensitive information remains safeguarded until the appropriate time for its disclosure. Once the necessary arrangements have been made and the new monarch is ready to assume their duties, The official announcement of the monarch's passing is typically made to the public through established channels and protocols. This may involve issuing a formal proclamation or declaration, followed by public ceremonies and rituals to mark the transition of power and mourn the loss of the deceased monarch. The mystery of the princes in the Tower is one of the most enduring and intriguing mysteries in English history. Upon his unexpected passing on the 9th of April in 1483, due to an illness that spanned approximately 3 weeks, Edward IV of England left behind a significant political vacuum. During this period, his son, the newly crowned King Edward V, was residing at Ludlow Castle, while Richard, the Duke of Gloucester and Edward's brother, was stationed at Middleham Castle in Yorkshire. News of Edward IV's demise eventually reached Gloucester around the 15th of April, with potential prior knowledge of the king's ailing health. It is documented that upon hearing the news, Gloucester made a public display of his allegiance to the new monarch by visiting York Minster to affirm his loyalty. The historical accounts, such as the Croyland Chronicle, suggest that Edward IV had appointed Gloucester as the Lord Protector before his death. Despite Edward's request, the Privy Council was not obligated to adhere to the deceased king's wishes, as exemplified by the precedent set during Henry V's reign. This situation underscores the complexity of succession and power dynamics during that pivotal historical moment. Edward V and Gloucester embarked on their journeys towards London, approaching from the west and north regions respectively, finally converging at Stony Stratford on the 29th of April. The subsequent day, Gloucester proceeded to apprehend Edward's entourage, which notably included the young boy's uncle, Anthony Woodville, 2nd Earl Rivers, along with their half-brother Sir Richard Grey. This captive group was later transported to Pontefract Castle, situated in Yorkshire, where a grim fate awaited them on the 25th of June in the form of decapitation. Following this event, Gloucester took custody of the young prince, Edward V, which prompted a swift reaction from Elizabeth Woodville. In response, she sought refuge at Westminster Abbey with her son Richard, the Duke of York, and her daughters, in a bid to safeguard them from a similar fate. Edward V and Gloucester arrived in London together. Plans continued for Edward's official coronation, but the date was postponed from the 4th of May to the 25th of June. On the 19th of May, 1483, Edward was lodged in the Tower of London, then the traditional residence of monarchs prior to the coronation. On the 16th of June, he was joined by his younger brother Richard, Duke of York, who was previously in sanctuary. At this point, the date of Edward's coronation was indefinitely postponed by their uncle Gloucester. On Sunday, the 22nd of June, a sermon was preached by Dr. Ralph Shah, brother of the Lord Mayor of London, at St. Paul's Cross, claiming Gloucester to be the only legitimate heir of the House of York. On the 25th of June, a group of lords, knights and gentlemen petitioned Richard to take the throne. Both princes were subsequently declared illegitimate by Parliament. This was confirmed in 1484 by an Act of Parliament known as Titulus Regius. The Act stated that Edward IV and Elizabeth Woodville's marriage was invalid because of Edward's pre-contract of marriage with Lady Eleanor Butler. Gloucester was crowned King Richard III of England on the 6th of July. The declaration of the boy's illegitimacy has been described by Rosemary Horrocks as an ex post facto justification for Richard's accession. Dominic Mancini, an Italian friar who visited England in the 1480s and who was in London in the spring and summer of 1484, recorded that after Richard III seized the throne, Edward and his younger brother Richard were taken into the inner apartments of the Tower and then were seen less and less until they disappeared altogether. Mancini records that, during this period, Edward was regularly visited by a doctor who reported that Edward sought remission of his sins by daily confession and penance because he believed that the end was facing him. The Latin reference to Argentinus Medicus was originally translated as a Strasbourg doctor. However, Rhodes suggests it may actually refer to Dr. Argentine, whom Rhodes identifies as John Argentine, an English physician who later served as Provost of King's College, Cambridge, and as Doctor to Arthur, Prince of Wales, eldest son of King Henry VII of England. Following Richard's reunion with his brother, there have been accounts suggesting that the two princes were observed engaging in playful activities within the Tower premises. However, records do not document any further sightings of them beyond the summer of 1483. An unsuccessful rescue mission was undertaken towards the end of July in an effort to locate them. The destiny of the two princes continues to linger as an unsolved mystery, shrouded in mystery and speculation. Various theories and conjectures have been put forth over the years, yet no definitive answers have emerged to resolve their ultimate fate. Many scholars in the field of history speculate about the fate of the princes, with a prevailing belief that they met a tragic end. There is a view suggesting that the possible occurrence of their demise took place in the latter part of the summer of 1483. Maurice Keane puts forward the argument that the uprising against Richard III in 1483 was initially aimed at liberating Edward V and his sibling from the confines of the Tower of London before it was too late. However, as the Duke of Buckingham got involved, the focus of the rebellion shifted towards endorsing Henry Tudor, as Buckingham likely had knowledge of the prince's demise within the Tower's walls. Alison Weir posits the 3rd of September 1483 as a probable date for the event. Nonetheless, Weir's findings have faced criticism for being heavily reliant on her own conjecture rather than on the ambiguous evidence she has presented in a misleading manner. The mysteries surrounding the disappearance of the two princes at the hands of a possible murder remain a subject of intricate scholarly debate, delving deep into the complexities of political dynamics and power struggles of that era. In his analysis of historical records, Clements Markham, a prominent historian, suggests that there is a possibility that the princes, believed to be Edward V and Richard, Duke of York, could have still been alive as late as July 1484. Markham draws attention to a set of regulations issued by Richard III household that specified the requirement for the children to have breakfast together. However, diverging from Markham's view, James Gairdner argues that the identity of the term "the children" is ambiguous and might not necessarily refer to the princes in question. Gairdner posits that the phrase could have been alluding to a different group of individuals. Specifically, he proposes that the children mentioned in the regulations could be Edward, Earl of Warwick, who was the son of the Duke of Clarence, along with Edward IV's two youngest daughters, Catherine and Bridget. These individuals were under the care of Richard III at Sheriff Hutton during that period. While the fate of the princes remains shrouded in mystery, the absence of conclusive evidence hinders any definitive conclusion, as acknowledged by the lack of credible and impartial sources detailing the events surrounding their disappearance. Despite the ambiguity surrounding their fate, speculations concerning their demise quickly proliferated following their vanishing act. Notably, Dominic Mancini's sole contemporary narrative depicting the prince's time in the Tower stood as a rare account until its unearthing in 1934 at the Municipal Library in Lille. Subsequent chronicles penned post the rise of Henry Tudor often carry accusations of bias or Tudor-influenced narratives, casting doubt on their reliability. The narrative's scarcity adds layers of complexity to the long-standing mystery surrounding the prince's untimely disappearance, inviting a deeper exploration of the intricacies and implications surrounding their mysterious case. So, what do you make of this mysterious voice? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.